and it's gonna be really annoying. Sorry, just prepare for that. I'll dismiss it immediately, but just prepare.
Something's shifted between Selena Gomez and Madison Beer, and fans have clocked it. What started as a low-key friendship is now being dissected with forensic-level detail by the internet's most relentless detectives. Theories are multiplying, accusations are flying. And once again, the narrative centers around a man, Benny Blanco. Let's start at the top. Selena Gomez is having a renaissance. A Disney alum turned global pop icon turned beauty mogul, her timeline has been anything but quiet. In December 2024, she announced her engagement to producer Benny Blanco, a move that cemented not only her romantic life, but also her creative one. They've released music together. They've posted affectionate photos. The message is clear. Selena is loved and in control. Now enter Madison Beer. Discovered as a teenager by Justin Bieber, Madison evolved from viral YouTube covers into a full-fledged recording artist. Her career has been marked by striking visuals, emotionally charged pop, and a slow, deliberate shift from Bieber's find to an artist with her own voice. She's not an accessory to anyone's legacy anymore. At least, she shouldn't be, but the internet has other ideas. Recently, rumors began to circulate that Madison might be trying to get a little too close to Benny Blanco. The alleged offense? Digital proximity, no proof of cheating, no receipts, just a wave of speculation tied to a simple Instagram follow. And just like that, the Whisper network exploded into a trending narrative. Here's where things get especially interesting. Major entertainment news outlets have stayed silent. Billboard, TMZ, People magazine. Not one has touched the story. In an era where gossip drives clicks, that absence says a lot. Instead, this theory gained momentum through TikTok, breakdowns and YouTube commentary videos, and at the heart of it all is a familiar formula. 2 women, 1 man, and a public eager to assign roles: hero, villain, victim. To be fair, Madison and Benny do have history, sort of. She appeared briefly in his 2019 music video Graduation, a collab with Juice WRLD, but it was a cameo, not a career-defining collaboration. Still, that appearance has been reinterpreted and recontextualized into something far more suggestive by online sleuths desperate for drama. But here's the reality. The music industry is full of casual collaborations. Working with someone isn't the same as wanting to date them. Sometimes it's not a scandal, it's just work. Still, some gossip sites continue to stoke the fire, citing outdated lists that linked Madison to Benny alongside other celebrities he's allegedly dated, including Selena herself. None of it has ever been confirmed. And yet, in the echo chamber of internet fandom, rumors don't need facts. They just need momentum. The latest chapter came in early 2025, when fans theorized that Madison might appear on Benny and Selena's joint album I Said I Love You First. The sole piece of evidence? Benny followed Madison on Instagram. That was enough. One follow turned into an entire storyline. Meanwhile, Benny and Selena were posting cozy photos and promoting their music, like nothing was happening. Their relationship is front and center, not hidden. And Madison? She's mid-tour, prepping new releases, and minding her own lane. So, if the evidence is flimsy and the key players are unbothered, why is this story still alive? Because it taps into something deeper, a fandom obsession with continuity. Once a celebrity enters the Bieber-Gomez orbit, they never fully leave it. And Madison Beer? She's still living in the gravitational pull of Justin Bieber, whether she likes it or not. To understand why Madison Beer keeps getting pulled into this narrative, you have to go back to where it started. Before the albums, before the tours, before the side-eyes and subtweets, it's 2012. Justin Bieber is the most famous teenager on earth. Madison Beer is 13, uploading YouTube covers from her bedroom. Then one day it happens. Justin shares one of her videos, calls her a star. Her life changes overnight. Scooter Braun reaches out. Madison signs to Island Records. And just like that, she's not a fan. She's part of the Bieber brand. For a while, that's all people saw. She was the protege, the hand-picked one, the girl who had Justin's approval. Her early songs? Definitely Bieber-coded. Her interviews? Gushing with gratitude. Her public image? Bieber 2.0 with a beauty filter. But as she matured, Madison pivoted hard. She distanced herself from bubblegum pop and leaned into darker, moodier alt-pop. Her 2021 album, Life Support, was a clear declaration. She wasn't a teen idol anymore. She had range, depth, autonomy. Still, the internet didn't get the memo. Fans continued to watch her like she was part of some unfinished Bieber storyline. Every tweet, every lyric, every public move was interpreted through that lens. She couldn't post a throwback without someone asking if it was a Justin reference. She couldn't like a tweet about outgrowing mentors without triggering a Twitter meltdown. And all of this, every single time, loops back to Selena Gomez. Because in the public imagination, the Bieber-Gomez relationship never really ended. It mutated. It scattered. It got preserved in digital amber. And anyone linked to either of them is dragged into the mythology whether they like it or not. So, when Madison collaborated with Selena in 2021 on Selfish Love, it should have been a moment of alignment, two women moving forward. Instead, it reignited an old debate. Was Madison betraying Justin? Was Selena sending a message? It didn't matter that Bieber was married, that Madison and Selena had publicly supported one another, that the music stood on its own. The fandom had already chosen sides, and neutrality wasn't an option. And Madison? She didn't feed the drama. She didn't deny it either. She stayed quiet, moved forward, focused on the work. But in stan culture, silence is a Rorschach test. If you don't say anything, they'll invent something. If you don't explain yourself, they'll write the explanation for you. Even now, at 25, Madison Beer is still viewed through the lens of a teenage mentorship that ended a decade ago. She's an established artist, but to some fans, she's still Bieber's girl. And because Bieber is Selena's ex, that math never stops adding up in the fandom's mind. Ironically, Justin hasn't publicly acknowledged Madison in years. No tags, no shoutouts, no studio collabs. But that silence doesn't matter. For the internet, their connection is permanent. Nostalgia doesn't need evidence, it just needs repetition. January 2020. Selena Gomez is in the middle of a powerful reintroduction. She's just released Rare, an album widely seen as her emotional closing statement on the long, very public saga with Justin Bieber. Fans are rallying behind her. It's her main character moment. And then it happens. Paparazzi. Photos surface. Madison Beer is spotted leaving the same restaurant as Hailey Bieber, the woman Justin married. The headlines write themselves. The fandom does the rest. Within hours, Madison's social media is flooded. Accusations, betrayal memes, snake emojis. The whole thing escalates at breakneck speed. The implication? Madison wasn't just out to dinner. She was choosing sides. And to many Selena stans, she'd picked the wrong one. The reality? A coincidence. But in the world of stan culture, logic is optional. The narrative had already crystallized. Madison was the traitor, and the digital pitchforks were out. To her credit, Madison responded quickly. I would literally never in a million years try to upset her. It was just a coincidence. A straightforward explanation. No shade, no drama, just context. But the backlash didn't stop. That's when Selena stepped in and changed everything. She left a comment on Instagram that felt more like a statement. This is disgusting. Reading all of this, it wasn't intentional whatsoever. I'm so disappointed that people would speak to someone like this. I've known Madison since she was a baby and watched her continue to become the woman she is. There is no issue. That line, there is no issue, should have ended the conversation. And for a moment, it did. But some corners of the internet weren't ready to let it go. They pointed to rumors that Selena had unfollowed Madison right before the incident, claiming the defense was performative, that she only spoke up after the backlash got out of hand. There were no receipts, no screenshots, just the familiar echo, trust me, bro. And here's the deeper problem. For celebrities, especially women in the pop world, every move is a message. Every follow, unfollow, like, or lyric is treated like a press release. Madison didn't say anything suspicious. She didn't do anything shady. But because she exists near Selena, near Hailey, near Justin, she becomes a suspect in a drama she didn't write. And for some fans, proximity is proof. The result? Madison Beer became a lightning rod. Not for something she said, not for something she did, but for where she ate dinner and who happened to be at the same place. It's not just exhausting. It's revealing. It shows how quickly stan culture can turn passive observations into moral indictments, and how rarely people stop to question the storyline they're buying into. Because if Selena Gomez, the actual person involved, said there was no issue, then who are we to argue? Fast forward to 2024. Selena Gomez releases a song titled Don't Take It Personally, a cool, low-tempo anthem dripping with post-drama confidence. It's self-assured, introspective, clearly about growth, but one lyric sets the internet ablaze. He sleeps in my bed, he doesn't want you. That line, just those 12 words. And the theories? Immediate TikTok edits, lyric breakdowns, thread after thread on who the you might be. For a large vocal portion of the fandom, the target was obvious. Madison Beer. Why? Because in their heads, Madison had already been cast as the one allegedly lurking in Benny Blanco's DMs. Never mind that the rumors were baseless. Never mind that Madison and Selena had once publicly collaborated. That one lyric was all it took to reignite the imagined feud. But here's the thing, Selena addressed it. In interviews, she clarified that the song was about personal experience, about reclaiming emotional space, not about shading other women. She explicitly denied the track being aimed at anyone, but the internet didn't care, because in the ecosystem of fan narratives, denial doesn't dissolve the drama, it fuels it. If anything, Selena's clarification was seen as suspicious. If it's not about Madison, fans asked, why say anything at all? And that's the paradox. When you stay silent, you're hiding something. When you speak up, you're covering something. There's no winning when everything you do is framed as evidence in a case that doesn't exist. For Madison, the fallout was familiar. She didn't respond, she didn't react. But her name was trending again, for the same tired reasons. As if her entire identity was still somehow tied to Justin Bieber, Benny Blanco, or Selena Gomez. But here's the twist no one seems to want to acknowledge. Don't Take It Personally isn't about anyone else. It's about Selena. It's about boundaries, detachment, emotional clarity. The title says it outright. Yet fans continue to read it like a courtroom transcript, highlighting keywords, connecting invisible dots, building entire narratives out of subtext that may not even be there. This isn't new. Female pop stars have always had their art reduced to conflict, their work examined for shade instead of substance. A single lyric overshadows an entire album's message. A throwaway line becomes the centerpiece for a conspiracy theory. And while everyone's busy decoding who a song might be about, they completely miss what the song is actually saying. Selena's lyrics aren't knives, they're mirrors, reflections of her emotional growth, not weapons for petty revenge, but in stan culture, nuance is bad for business. Conflict sells, clarity doesn't. And so we find ourselves back in the same place. Inventing beef where there's none, projecting betrayal where there's only boundaries, turning lyrics into smoke signals when they were just therapy. To fully understand why this Madison-Selena narrative keeps spinning in circles, we have to name the gravitational force pulling everything back in. Justin Bieber, even when he's not posting, even when he's not speaking, even when he's not involved, he's involved. Because in the fan-driven mythology of pop culture, Bieber isn't just a singer, he's a symbol, a thread that connects past heartbreaks, unfinished, arcs, and unresolved fan fantasies. And for better or worse, anyone who's ever been tied to him, Selena, Hailey, Madison, never fully escapes that orbit. Madison Beer was discovered by Justin. That fact, though ancient by internet standards, still defines how people view her. Even though she's now in full control of her sound, image, and platform, fans continue to frame her as the protégé, the girl Justin picked, the one who owes him allegiance even a decade later. And then there's Selena, the former. Partner in one of the most obsessively documented relationships of the 2010s, a love story turned cautionary tale. A saga so public that every lyric, interview, and facial expression has been scrutinized for meaning long after the relationship itself ended. Now throw in Benny Blanco, Selena's fiancé, creative partner, and by all visible accounts, a stabilizing force in her life. That's the triangle, not because the people involved say it is, but because fans insist it must be. So when Benny followed Madison on Instagram, it wasn't just a digital action, it was fuel. And when Selena released a lyric like, "He doesn't want you," the fanbase didn't ask what she meant, they decided. They needed Madison to be the one on the other side of that line, because in their version of the story, Madison has never stopped being the girl from Bieber's world. And if Selena's moved on, the narrative demands a new villain. Meanwhile, Justin, ironically, is mostly silent. But his silence doesn't absolve him, because when he does post, the implications ripple. In April 2025, shortly after Selena and Benny's engagement went public, Justin posted a meme of Gollum from Lord of the Rings with the caption, "Girls, on social media when they get engaged." No names, no context, but fans immediately connected the dots. The timing was suspect, the vibe was bitter, and the internet was quick to label it as a dig at Selena. Then came the follow-unfollow drama. Justin reportedly liked a photo of Selena and Benny, then unliked it. Classic move. Just enough to stir speculation, not enough to confirm anything, and once again, Madison's name got dragged back in. Not for anything she said or did, but because of her proximity. Her past connection to Justin became part of the suspicion. Her silence? Interpreted as strategy, this is how stan culture operates, through legacy grudges. If you were ever part of the narrative, you're always a suspect. But here's the irony. Justin may be the name that ties it all together, but he's also the one most disconnected from the present. Selena is building, Benny is supporting, Madison is growing. And Justin? He's a shadow the fandom refuses to let go. While the internet debates who followed who, what lyrics mean, and who might secretly be mad at whom, Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco have been doing none of that. Instead, they've been showing up. Red carpets, studio sessions, Knicks games, beach vacations. A photo here, a steamy kiss there, a handwritten "sell" in the sand. Every post from them is less about proving a point and more about living the moment. And that, ironically, is the point. They're not online fighting the narrative. They're rewriting it, without words. Benny, in particular, has leaned into the role of supportive partner with zero hesitation. In interviews, he's praised Selena with a kind of honesty that doesn't feel performative. In a recent Rolling Stone piece, he even admitted he knew early on that he'd wife her. No PR games, just mutual obsession and not the toxic kind. Even at the Oscars, when he was hilariously mistaken for Bad Bunny, he took it in stride. The couple showed up in coordinated looks, posed like royalty, and left the drama to the comment sections. Meanwhile, the album they dropped together, I Said I Love You First, is climbing the charts. And yes, some fans are still dissecting the lyrics for traces of Bieber, but others are catching on to something more important. This isn't a breakup album, it's a breakthrough album. It's about what happens when the healing actually works. Which brings us to Justin's now infamous meme, "Girls on social media when they get engaged," posted right after Selena announced hers. But instead of reacting, Selena posted a montage of romantic photos with Benny. One of them kissing, one of them laughing, one of them just walking on the beach. No quote tweets, no shade, just proof. That real peace makes the noise irrelevant. And that's how they've been operating ever since. Even when fans try to bait a reaction. Over lyrics, over Bieber, over Madison, Selena doesn't bite because her energy isn't in the past. It's in the process, in the art, in the life she's building now. And Benny? He's right there beside her. No cryptic messages, no digital drama, just presence. That's what makes the ongoing Madison drama so glaringly hollow. If Selena's unbothered, Benny's focused, and Madison's silent, who exactly is still? Invested? The fans, the theorists, the content creators who need conflict to drive clicks. But the actual people involved? They're not playing that game anymore. So let's get to the heart of it. Is there any real conflict between Selena Gomez and Madison Beer? No. No confirmed fallout, no public shade, no music industry Cold War. The alleged tension lives almost entirely in the imagination of comment sections, TikTok threads, and stan culture spreadsheets. In fact, Selena's own words in 2020, "There is no issue," should have been enough to close the case. Since then, there's been no visible beef, no suspicious lyrics, no cold shoulders at events, no subtweets, just distance. And honestly, distance isn't drama, it's adulthood. Yet here we are in 2025, still recycling a story built on an old Instagram unfollow rumor, a dinner at the same restaurant as Hailey Bieber, and a lyric that could have meant anything. Or nothing, it's not a feud. It's a framework, a pop culture formula fans refuse to retire. Because there's a deeper truth buried beneath all the drama, people don't actually want the beef to end. The Madison versus Selena narrative is useful. It feeds the algorithm. It fuels fan loyalty. It gives creators something to monetize. And for longtime Jelena stans, It keeps the idea of the Bieber love triangle alive, even if all three people have moved on. This is the cycle. A lyric drops, a theory forms, a name trends, a narrative sticks. And once the internet decides who the villain is, evidence becomes optional. Nuance disappears. Madison doesn't need to say anything. She just needs to exist near Selena's storyline to be cast as the other girl. It's lazy, it's exhausting, but it's also profitable for content creators, platforms, and drama channels. And here's the kicker, Madison Beer has never publicly said a negative word about Selena Gomez. Not in interviews, not in tweets, not even in passing. In fact, the last time they were connected publicly, it was through mutual support, not conflict. So why is she still being painted as some kind of background antagonist? Because she was discovered by Bieber. Because she's friendly with Hailey. Because she got caught in a paparazzi photo outside the wrong restaurant on the wrong night 5 years ago. That's the bar. And the bigger problem? This happens to women in the industry all the time. Their friendships, relationships, and careers get reduced to proximity-based suspicion. Are they closer to the ex? Did they post at the same time? Did they like a photo? Suddenly, their artistry doesn't matter. Their growth doesn't matter. Only the illusion of rivalry does. But at some point, you have to ask, who's still writing this story? Because it's not Selena, it's not Madison, and it's definitely not Benny Blanco. So let's pull back from the theories, the edits, the lyric sleuthing, the Instagram deep dives, and just ask, what's actually happening? Selena Gomez is thriving, professionally, emotionally, creatively. She's in love, in charge, and visibly uninterested in revisiting the past. Her relationship with Benny Blanco isn't just public. It's consistent, supportive, calm. Madison Beer is evolving, touring, releasing, growing. She's been open about her mental health, her industry struggles, and her transformation from a viral discovery into a nuanced artist with her own voice. Her silence isn't shady, it's self-preservation. Benny Blanco? He's right where he wants to be, producing, collaborating, showing up for Selena in ways that feel grounded and real. And Justin Bieber? He's the name still orbiting there, lives without ever actually entering the chat. Whether it's cryptic memes or rumored social media slip-ups, his presence remains more symbolic than active, a ghost the fandom can't seem to bury. Which brings us to the real antagonist in this story.